We're back. Man, I just love the cadence of this tournament. Every game is more exciting than the last. This is Season 1 of the Manifold TCG Promotional League. This is the Round of 35 Group 5 Winners Match. I'm Brad. With me here as always is Adam. Adam, who do we have today?
Hey everyone. So we just watched Jonathon beat Hugh in the placement match. So now Jonathon gets to try his luck against Noble. Jonathon here will be playing a deck originally piloted by Jesse, who you can also see in this tournament later on. It's a 4-11s deck featuring Hin and a bunch of cheap characters to draw all the cards that he possibly can.
Yeah, the most obvious thing about this deck is it has 40 health.
Yeah.
The second thing about this deck is because all of your characters draw you an extra card, it is filled to the brim with cheap characters. And just a couple ways to really leverage that you have a bunch of characters in play.
Yes.
The downside to this deck is while your characters are drawing you cards, they're also drawing your opponent's cards. So you're about to see a game of Manifold where both decks are firing on all cylinders.
And if there's any deck that wants to fire on all cylinders and have exactly the card at exactly the right time, it's Noble's deck. Lysteria EM-Urgent here is about combining two things, small characters and attachments, into a really cool blend. Lysteria readies a small character when she activates, so if you have an attachment or 3 on it, then you get a lot of value out of that.
And in theory, Lysteria is really fragile, because putting attachments on support characters means they die when the support character dies, and putting them on cheap ones means they're easy to kill.
Yep.
But EM-Urgent gives you a lot of timing tricks that let you get your thing shielded right away or get your dice right away.
Yeah.
And so we're going to see, like I said, both decks firing on all cylinders. Noble's going to have all the tricks. Jonathon's going to have all the answers.
And let's see who comes out on top. So before we get down to the table, it would really help us a lot if you guys liked and subscribed to this video. We're doing this to get Manifold to as many people as possible, and that type of engagement is what pushes the YouTube algorithm to push this to more people.
And this game's finally really in distribution. It's really in pre-order right now, but you can find it at Pairodice.games, you can find it at Aegis.games, you can find it at Paradox Trading Post.
Yep.
You can go to MountBakerGames.com/Manifold. The link is in the description. Go to our store locator and find a place near you that's carrying it. And if you don't find it, go tell your LGS that you want to play this game. We will make it so easy for them to carry, because getting this game to you through your LGS is really our priority.
Yeah, that's the whole point. The point, we kind of built this to be good for an LGS to run a community. If you talk to your LGS and get them in communication with us, we'll make it worth their while.
So Jonathon is going first, and Jonathon is starting with a surveillance drone, which means we get to see Noble's hand right away.
Yeah, so what's Noble got in here? There's a back LED, a blessing of the cloth, a continued training, a proselytizer.
And a spirit binder mage.
There's a spirit binder mage in there? That's really nice. So that is the glue that binds EM-Urgent and Lysteria together. That'll be really exciting. Also,
okay.
Jonathon can stack his triggers, so play the surveillance drone, trigger Hin, both players draw, and then use surveillance drone's trigger so he gets to see the extra card in Noble's hand.
Yeah, and I think Jonathon was like, no, I messed it up, and good guy Hugh is like, or good guy Noble is like, no, you did it right. Here's the card I drew.
Yep, so Noble here is one of the original developers of the game, and as such, Noble has a great idea, or I'm confident, of how this matchup is played, like what's important, how to play around certain things, all of that.
Yeah, so I'm just a little bit not dubious. Noble has played against Hin plenty, but this Hin list, Jesse's Hin list, is just a little different from what we've had going around before.
Yeah.
Actually has a lot less removal than the way Hin used to be played.
I agree. Yeah, so that should be interesting. Noble here is going to start with a proselytize. Oh, wow. That's the, that's
we saw his hand. We didn't do the math.
Yeah. So proselytizer here on EM-Urgent will immediately activate using EM-Urgent's trigger, and then play a support character paying blue towards it. So that's the 5th gem being a spirit binder mage, which comes in with the blessing of the cloth, which immediately activates. Luckily, Jonathon has a Docide Thug, which will immediately eat the Spearbinder Mage.
Yeah, because Noble found the shield too.
Yeah.
So if Jonathon didn't have it right now, he didn't have time to find it.
Yeah, and Lysteria would have immediately readied it and all that kind of stuff. So this Docide Thug actually is incredible.
But like we were talking about before, with EM-Urgent does a lot to cover up the weaknesses.
Yeah.
Noble already got those dice.
Right.
So a lot of times play a Spearbinder Mage, your opponent thugs it, you're behind a lot. All this did was keep Jonathon in the game.
Yes, yeah, that's true. And usually Spearbinder Mage kind of costs a card in a way when that happens. But
Jonathon just opted to discard a Docide Thug to his Relic Seeker.
Interesting. Okay.
Sometimes you have to do that because you need to find a way to spend your gem.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're just racing to get to 6 characters in your discard so that your Prostoma is on and your Ascended is on.
Yeah.
But it really, my impulse is that Docide Thug is the best card in the deck in the matchup.
I agree. Well, we'll see. We'll see this game whether or not that matters a lot. So Noble's going to take a tactical reroll, and Yusith on the other side will eat one of Noble's 2 damage dice, rolling 2 draw in its place. Well, for, I guess, on the other side. Noble's got, 6 damage here? That's pretty reasonable. I bet he can tactical reroll up to killing Yusith if he really wanted to.
Yeah, when you're playing against Hin, or with Hin for that matter, you're going to have more cards in hand than normal. And so resolving your dice for mediocre sides is usually not a thing you want to do.
Right.
And in particular, we see Noble already has an Heirloom Saturn in his hand. And that's the kind of like B grade backup for curve considerations card that you just are hopefully never playing in a Hin matchup.
Right. So Noble is going to think about what to do here. I think
He resolved to draw 1 on a green dice.
Interesting. Yeah, okay. So he wants the cards in his hand.
Yeah.
Is what I'm getting from that.
But not enough to resolve the purple draw 1. Because purple rerolls into modify quite effectively. Green can reroll into damage, but largely rerolls into draw.
Yeah, that's true. Huh. Very cool. So Jonathon here with a comms operator will use all his gems. One of the problems with this 411's deck is you need to spend all your gems, and most of your cheap guys only cost the gem and don't have any gray extra. And so spending all your gems in round 1 can be hard. But he did it.
Something that I tell people when they first pick up this deck is never take a second Ruby Mine.
Sure.
And Jonathon took a second Ruby Mine in the placement match, which he won, and he started with a second Ruby Mine here. But now you see there's a surveillance drone and a comms operator in play, and a surveillance drone and a radar servo in the discard.
Yeah.
So there's only 3 more red cards in Jonathon's whole deck.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, sure. So it'll be hard to spend the second red gem, or even the first one necessarily, in
subsequent rounds.
So Noble here will tactical reroll into Modify 2, which will set him up to just modify into lethal damage on Yusith, I believe, if I did my math right. Jonathon's gonna activate Goyner, discarding Federation Arborealist. He's getting pretty close to
having Prostoma on. Yeah, I think he probably needs 1 tactical reroll to make it happen.
Yep, and Spearbinder Mage on Noble's side will, yeah. So five characters and discards for those counting.
The damage race is really asymmetrical in this matchup.
Right.
Jonathon has 40 health to Noble's 32 health. But on top of that, Jonathon has unimportant breakpoints. And Noble, if Lysteria dies, that's a tremendously important breakpoint because her ready ability goes away.
Right.
If EM-Urgent dies, that's a tremendously important breakpoint because he's representing 5 premium dice right now.
Right.
So even in a world where Noble does 10 damage and Jonathon does 7, maybe even 6,
sure,
that's still a fair game.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, because Noble will lose a lot when one of his heroes dies. So I think the big question in this game is, does Noble keep both his heroes alive going into round 3?
Yeah, that'll be a really telling point.
Yes. So Noble's at the pass until you damage me into NL dig in phase of the game. Jonathon's rolling all his dice. Looks like we'll see in a moment if he's going to tactical reroll or whatnot.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't resolve a bunch of draw because every once in a while in Index you actually need to because you are playing a very high volume of cards.
Right.
But you really don't want to.
Yeah.
And you roll 3 premium dice in your hero line, so it does happen.
Right. Oxidize here is going to be the tactical reroll, which will turn into, another damage. That's good. And I wouldn't be surprised if he now resolves this 3 draw and just gets the damage in. But yeah, okay. Draw 2. Okay, this makes sense. Draw 2 and then tactical reroll the other 3. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because another 1 damage off these boon dice is worth 2 because it hits a shield.
Sure. Well, okay. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because Noble still has the dig in.
Right,
in
I
his
forgot
pocket.
about that. Yeah. So deal 1, dig in, deal 1, and then so Noble has now dug in, and Jon gets to decide how he wants to do this. So Jon's going to take off EM-Urgent shield and deal 6 there.
I think, do I kill EM-Urgent or do I kill Lysteria is one of the harder first hero targeting decisions in any of the matchups we've seen in the round of 32.
Yeah, I think I agree, especially with that Proselytizer on EM-Urgent. So this is, I think I agree. I'm pretty confident that I agree here.
You mean you agree with me that it's the hardest, or you agree with Jonathon that you kill EM-Urgent?
That you kill EM-Urgent
okay.
first. Yeah, because that Proselytizer is going to be very valuable in terms of just gems over the course of the game. And Noble will, and that will hopefully Jonathon is able to kill EM-Urgent and then kill everything that Lysteria would activate. That's my dream if I'm Jon.
Yeah, and
would ready.
And if I'm the kind of deck that can kill everything that Lysteria can activate, then I'm inclined to do that.
I suppose that's not exactly Jon's deck, is it?
Yeah, especially not when you're already through 2 Docide Thugs.
That is true.
You have 3 Witchfires, 1 Docide Thug, and maybe an Oxidize as
the
rest of your removal.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. So Noble here is going to start by activating EM-Urgent with Proselytizer, playing a Docide Thug, which will eat the Surveillance Drone on Jon's side. Oh, and Jon does have the 3rd Docide Thug, which he's going to play, which will trade with the Docide Thug here. Ah, I see. So when Docide Thug has taken a damage by fighting something, it still has 2 durability. It just has 1 damage marked on it. And so the second Docide Thug doesn't then see 1, it sees the 2.
Yeah, and I believe that Jonathon has a Witchfire in his hand. Oh, I actually still think he does have a Witchfire in his hand, but that's not the line that he's opting to take. Instead, he's like, if the Thug is going to trade, I want it to roll me a black dice when it trades.
Excellent. So Remembrance here is going to play the Docide Thug out of the discard, which when it trades, like you said, roll a black dice.
Yep.
Okay, that's great.
And that sets up Jonathon well for the late game, but it isn't actually really good at killing EM-Urgent this round.
That's true.
It kind of takes your foot off the gas in order to fill up your tank.
That's a way to put it. I believe there are now 6 characters in discard, so Proxima rolls an extra yellow dice.
That helps.
That's pretty nice. Noble is going to play a continue training. So Noble is having a really hard time getting stuff for Lysteria 2 ready.
Yeah, the Docide Thug was going to fill that role.
Yeah.
Oh, and actually, he has a security golem. So he could have forced the issue, but he decided that he would rather be safer. This is the kind of thing, when you have a lead, you would rather preserve your lead than continue to throw Hail Marys.
Sure. So we'll see in a moment how Noble wants to get this security golem into the mix, as Jon will activate Comms Operator, activating Proxima for getting a Ren 2. Ren 2 is potentially very good against Noble's hand, just because Noble has, 4 cards in hand now, I think? Noble will play a security golem, which will grab the black counter off of Lysteria.
Yeah, so that was cute.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually any more yield than play the security golem and then play the continued training.
That's true. But if Jon had immediately detonate mines, well, I guess he doesn't have yellow, so never mind. Either way works out. Goriner here is going to roll 1 sabotage, and Jon will do the 3-card thing that Goriner does. As it is, continue training here on Noble's side is going to pump up that that security golem to roll black, white, and then Lysteria will be able to ready it and roll black, white again. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
It's not the broken, scary thing that you're really afraid of with Lysteria, but it just gets better next round.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Continue training, black counter here. Cool. Yeah, something that's very cool about Noble's deck here is he was able to set up a threat, the Docide Thug, and get it traded off with, and then establish a continued training and another threat, because all his threats are so cheap. The Lysteria makes them into real weapons. You don't need to gamble on a 5 cost, that's something that might get removed.
And a big part of what you're seeing there is just the value of the extra gem that the proselytizer provided this round.
That too. That's absolutely true as well.
Noble's 7 gem plays look better than Jonathon's 6 gem plays.
That is a good way to put it.
And almost exactly by a gem, right? Because Jonathon can't Witchfire Oxidize, which like the Oxidize is still on top of his deck, but like we know he has access to that, but he's a gem short because he doesn't have the proselytizer.
Yeah, okay. Everything is fairly equal in that case.
Yeah. Noble has this discernible edge.
Yes, because proselytizer is very good. That's what proselytizer does. So Noble will roll the rest of his dice here, and what do we got? We got 4 damage, a modify, and a bunch of tactical rerolling to do. I believe is going to be Noble's next couple turns.
I don't know how Jonathon is going to spend 2 gems, but there isn't a big, beefy, high impact thing for him to do.
I mean, I bet he just has a Federation Arborealist.
Yeah, that doesn't count as big, beefy, and high impact.
Sure.
Right? He's not playing a Horizon Walker. He's not playing a Federation Battle Mage, which means getting up to the 10 damage that you need to kill the EM-Urgent here.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, which is really good for Noble. Energy will take the shield off of this security golem.
Oh, that's nice.
That is very nice.
The Oxidize is still on top of Jonathon's deck, though. It's not in his hand.
Jonathon has 2 Witchfires.
That is less sexy.
Yes, it is. But it will kill the security golem.
Well, it won't actually. Noble immediately resolved another shield onto the security golem.
Great. So that just trades back and forth. Hin here will roll to draw. That's not damage. And modify here on Noble's side will modify 2 into energy. Yeah, because energy is shield 2. 2 energies gives you shield 2 off Lysteria. And that'll make sure that the security golem gets to survive even if Jonathon does something.
Yeah, and so Noble's damage output here is going to not be very impressive because he's resolving his dice very defensively.
Yes. But it'll still be 6 damage.
Yeah, and I still think
4 damage. No, yeah, 6, never mind.
Given the significance of Noble's breakpoints, like Noble is continuing to grow in a way that Jonathon isn't. I guess the remembrance is quite powerful, but the continued training and the proselytizer are give round over round give Noble the opportunity to grow more than Jonathon has.
I agree. So Federation Arborealist here will heal the 2 health off, or heal 2 damage off of Prosthema. Sorry. And like you said, not a gigantic thing, but Noble will be dealing 6 damage and digging in, it looks like. And Jonathon's going to figure out how to use the rest of his dice here.
Yeah, Jonathon's going to get in for 1 damage.
Yeah, I think just the 1.
And a big,
wild.
A big part of that's a big consequence of the remembrance costing a big chunk of gems.
Yes.
But now you have the remembrance in play, and the remembrance is very good.
Yeah.
It's probably worse in Hin than in any of the other decks we've seen. Like, it's clearly not as powerful as in Urus or Data Rimmerant.
I agree.
It gives you the ability for your thugs to roll when they trade off. We've already seen that. Your Clothbound Apprentices can roll an extra dice when you sacrifice them. Your Federation Battle Mages roll an extra dice. But this deck has a weird fireball ending.
Yeah, so if you've been perusing at this deck list, you might notice that there's 1 or 2 Starfallen Warriors, which deals 2 damage to each character in play, heroes included. When that blows up your board of 8 small characters you don't care about, and you have 3 remembrances in play, that's 24 black dice. Now, obviously, that's a dream scenario, but like late game play a remembrance, playing Starfallen Warrior out of the discard can certainly happen and is very exciting when it does.
And so if the game goes long enough and Noble goes wide and Jonathon goes tall, but neither of them are dying, which is not a terribly likely circumstance. Probably one of them is dying.
Oh, nice. So Noble did the continued training here to add black counter, and Jon will respond with Witchfire Docide Thug, which will trade off with the security golem. Very nice.
Interesting. So Jonathon chose to use the 3rd Docide Thug instead of the Oxidize. The Oxidize has much fewer targets.
And we're sure he has an Oxidize in hand?
I mean, I'm sure very little. I'm 85% confident. He saw it on top of his deck when he used Giorner last round.
Gotcha.
And then I'm pretty sure he discarded something else.
Okay. So yeah, that is very interesting. Noble here will put an attachment somewhere. A 2 cute to die on Lysteria, which will, and he doesn't get the second shield. That's okay. It's going to just immediately activate Lysteria because Noble knows he's not going to be playing something else to ready. Interesting.
So it's another instance of Noble not being... Well, actually, he just has nothing.
He has Detonate Mines and Disrupt Communication. So he'll probably Detonate Mines the Remembrance at some point, but not much else.
Yeah, when I said he has nothing, I mean he doesn't have a support character that is small enough to play.
Yes.
He can actually play the Energy Retracer.
Oh, cool.
Because he has the gem off of the Proselytizer.
All right, so here's a second Remembrance for Jonathon playing another Federation Arborealist. Now we're getting in Fireball territory.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Jonathon has the Starfallen Warrior in his hand.
I think he does. Yeah. Cool. I'm excited to see that happen. So I believe that Noble will be digging in this round because Jonathon has roughly 1 million activations to make and Noble has 1 plus some dice. So yeah.
Well, Noble's activation is going to put a Energy Retracer into play. So he's going to have another character to play after that.
Right. So Noble here will use Proselytizer to play Energy Retracer, which will sabotage, what was that, purple? Yellow. That makes more sense. And get yellow dice on Energy Retracer. Now, Energy Retracer doesn't get readied with Lysteria, but still good.
Yeah, and Energy Retracer normally gets to put that counter on another support character, and she doesn't do that here.
Yeah.
But she's still good.
Yeah, Noble just played a 4-drop that sabotaged 1 that rolled 2 premium dice. That's fine.
Yep. This is one of the cards that draws ire.
Yes.
In Terran Sentinels.
Yeah. Energy Retracer is really, really strong.
Yeah. If you can play it, you probably should.
Yeah. So Noble has rolled only 2 damage, but has a bunch of purple dice.
Yeah, he has 2 modify showing, so he could modify into modify 4.
Yeah.
He actually doesn't have a huge hand, but he does have some cards that don't line up terribly well. So
Right.
I would suspect we'll see exactly 1 tactical reroll, and then beyond that he'll opt to keep the cards in his hand.
Interesting. So now Noble's got modify 3, which will probably just be spent and not doing any. Yeah, I agree. We're not going to tactical reroll anymore.
So it looks like that just exactly kills Prosthema. No, Prosthema's not currently shielded. So it looks like that kills Prosthema, and there's 1 damage spillover.
Neat. Okay. I think that's what Noble's going to plan to do. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what he chose to do. Okay, he's gonna draw 4. 4? 3? 4. I think it was 4.
I think it was 4.
Yeah, okay. As Jonathon will just continue down the line activating his dudes.
So now I think he's not going to kill Prosthema. He still could.
Yeah.
But choosing to do so would cause him to actually take damage in return.
Right.
And I think he thinks that as long as continued training and Proselytizer exist, the status quo favors him.
Yes.
So I think we're going to see this defensively resolved in a way that minimizes the amount of damage done this round.
Yeah, continue training here, amping up the yellow counters on Energy Retracer is probably what his game plan is from here on, as much as possible. Which is really interesting because Jonathon doesn't have a good way to kill this Energy Retracer, does he? Like Witchfire,
Starfallen Warrior.
Sure. And that's even potentially in his hand. Okay.
Yeah.
So never mind.
I mean,
it's a lot.
It's not totally clear that counts as a good way.
Sure, fair enough.
Because it is 6 gems, and your Starfallen Warrior is a very grand tactic.
Yes.
Once you do it, the whole timber of the game has changed.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to do it because it's the right time to kill an Energy Retracer. You want to do it because it's the right time to fire the salvo.
So Noble is going to tactical reroll into modify 2 and another damage. So now he might modify into 7 damage from here.
That would still be modifying out of the sabotage, right?
Yeah. He could. I'm not saying you will, but
Yep, and I think he's looking at Jonathon's dice and not seeing damage, and he's probably feeling like EM-Urgent isn't going to die.
I think that is accurate.
And EM-Urgent is going to die next round.
Right.
Overwhelmingly likely.
Yeah.
So just making sure you get one more activation out of it is satisfactory. Yep. That's the aggressive modify.
So nicely done, Noble. Changing what we assume to be his plan to be what we assume to be his other plan. Shield here is going to get immediately traded off. And then it doesn't look like Jonathon's going to be able to save Proxima here. At least not without digging in and losing a lot of dice.
Yeah, he has Resolve a Dice as shield in his initial hero pool, but Yusuf being dead means his defensive energy ability is off the table.
Right. So, what is Jonathon going to do knowing that Proxima is probably dead?
I mean, right now this is 5 damage, which is really unimpressive. So hopefully... Oh, he's resolving the dice if it showed modify.
Sure. Still 5 damage.
Yeah, and then you're going to take a shield off of the continued training.
Yeah, that's okay. So, it'll end up being 3 damage after the shield.
After pinging 2 shields.
Yeah. That's not EM-Urgent dead. Okay.
And this is the end of round 3. Like, we were saying... EM-Urgent being dead at the end of round 2 is a good place for Jonathon.
Right.
EM-Urgent's alive in round 4.
That's very different.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is interesting. So EM-Urgent's going to 6 health remaining, and Jonathon is at exactly half of his starting health pool with 2 heroes, both very healthy, as we go into round 4.
Yep, and we talk about the importance of breakpoints. If both players took 6 more damage here, randomly, I think Jonathon's ahead. I don't think it's the life total that matters. It's the significance of what EM-Urgent is going to do this round that matters.
That's a good point. That's a good way to put that. Neat. All right, so we're going to take our extra locale. There we go. And Noble will be starting just by activating EM-Urgent. Here's 5 premium dice.
Yep, and you get to play a card.
Yes.
Here's 5 premium dice and a gem.
Noble's got... I can only get a glance. I think I saw 2 detonate mines in there. But okay, Clothbound Apprentice shielding itself. Cool.
Yep, this is one of the only decks that plays Clothbound Apprentice shielding itself.
Right.
Because you want to put counters or attachments on it and then ready it with Lysteria.
Yeah. Such a weird, cool way for that card to go.
Right, because the card doesn't do anything.
Yep. Doesn't do anything until it has 4 premium dice on it somehow. So let's see. I don't know what's in Noble's hand, but if he has another Energy Retracer, having this round be an Energy Retracer counter onto my Clothbound Apprentice and then up it with the Continue Training would be an excellent way to lock the door on Jonathon, I think.
And I think he still has that Heirloom Saturn that I was saying he was never going to play. It looks okay here.
It looks pretty good here.
Yeah, I mean, it looks worse than Blessings, but...
No, because Continue Training can grow it.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought that's where you were going with that.
No.
That's actually good.
Yeah, I was just out here thinking that B-grade Blessings is still pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's that's legitimately powerful. So Detonate Mines is going to take out the Continue Training, and with it, all our hopes for cool Heirloom Saturn stuff, as Energy Retracer is just going to roll 2 rend and 2 damage. That's good dice.
And so Jonathon still has the opportunity. He still has 6 gems up and 3 green. So he still has Witchfire or Starfallen Warrior if that's what he wants to do this round.
Right.
But you probably want to activate all your guys first.
Yes. He's not racing to anything here because EM-Urgent has already been activated. And so...
And it also deals damage to heroes. And he has 2 heroes.
Right.
But he's probably not going to have 2 heroes at some point this round.
Oh, that's where you... Yeah, okay. Wait for Noble to kill Goyrner or someone, and then Starfallen Warrior.
Yeah, I think there's a reasonable chance that that's how this plays out.
That's cool. Yeah, I'd love to see that happen. So another continued training for Noble here will put a black counter on Clothbound Apprentice, making it a little bit spookier, but not spooky enough, I would imagine. Noble will probably put more things there before activating it.
Yeah, at the very least, he's going to activate the continued training and put a second black counter on the Apprentice.
Yes, at the very least. Let's see, what do we got? Noble here is going to back alley deal for a red counter here. Yeah, that's better for continued training.
Yes, it is. Back alley deal is a cool card because it's just take cover with the additional mode of Federation Blaster.
Oh man, Jonathon could right now Witchfire the Clothbound Apprentice and then Starfallen Warrior, and that would be a blowout.
Oh, that would be very good.
That would be very good here. Jonathon, if you can hear me and you have those cards in hand, I have no idea if you do, but that would be really good.
No, he does. Witchfire Starfallen Warrior?
Yeah.
I'm quite confident he has them both.
All right, great, cool. So Jonathon will opt to roll Federation or Borealist, and Noble will activate this Clothbound Apprentice. Yeah, no, Jonathon's just rolling his whole board, and so is Noble for what it's worth.
Yeah, and you want to make sure you get those dice, but it turns out it gives your opponent an additional 6 dice, and it gave you 2.
Right.
Oh.
Goryner's going to take off that shield because Jonathon just needed energy there.
So Jonathon wanted the Witchfire to be available to kill the energy retracer, so he wanted to use an energy to take the shield.
Sure.
But trying to get that extra little piece of value gave Noble 6 more dice.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, this will eat away at Noble's board. So, Starfallen Warrior here will deal 2 damage to, like, everything in play.
Absolutely everything. Kaboom.
Yeah. Okay, so shield off of Lysteria and 2 damage on EM-Urgent, 2 damage on each of Hin and Goyner, and killing both the Clothbound Apprentice and the Energy Retracer, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dudes will roll 10 black dice off the Remembrances.
That is whack.
That is the... Yeah, this deck is the craziest Starfallen Warriors I've ever seen.
Yeah, like the way Hin used to be played, it died to things like Starfallen Warrior. And so some people started putting some Remembrances in their Hin decks.
Yeah.
And then Jesse was like, what if we did it ourselves?
And that was a crazy innovation that is legitimately powerful, I think.
It gives Jonathon this Hail Mary that can catch him up at the end of a game that if he just sits back, he's losing.
Yeah.
So it gives him something to do.
That is certainly something to do. I don't think that roll was particularly amazing because it was, what, 3 damage and 1 modify and a bunch of draw. But, and wow, look at all these dice Noble has. Noble's just going to win the game right now.
Yeah, bringing your
Gives
own
you
life total
16
from
damage?
20 down to 16 means that Starfallen Warrior might have been your own death knell.
Wow. Yeah, and I think more than that, those 6 dice, the 4 red dice were like very important here.
Yep. And so that's a really neat case study on trying to maximize your value.
Yeah.
You have to define what value is.
Yep, because
right?
because Jon did it. Noble doesn't have that energy retracer in play for next round.
Yeah.
But if there's no next round, that didn't happen.
Exactly. The thing that he lost is 4 premium dice and 2 boon dice this round that your opponent is resolving into your jaw.
Yeah.
And this 411's deck has a lot of jaw.
Yeah, that's certainly a way to put it. Noble's going to tactical reroll purple, purple, red. He's already got 4 modify there, just barely off the screen. I think 5 or even 6 modify. I know he has at least 2 purple, 2 modifies. And there's another 2 modify. So Noble's going to be able to modify all these premium dice just into straight damage.
Yep, I can't quite fathom if he has enough premium dice to modify, but
Yeah,
if he does, he's showing 17 damage.
Sure. Yeah, he's got modify 7, 8, modify. Yeah, he's got
7.
modify 8. Only for 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think he'll just use 7 of it.
And Jonathon resolved a bunch of draw.
Yeah.
Because he needs to tactical reroll a bunch because he has all of these boon dice that aren't doing their job.
Right. Yeah, after you roll 12 black dice, like you still have some work to do.
Yeah, right. I mean, it could have been Grant, right?
It could have been 12 damage.
Yeah, I think he rolled 10.
Was it 10?
10 black dice.
Okay.
Yeah, but it still could have been 10 damage, right? Because
Yes.
modify is 2 because you had those outstanding premiums.
Right. Yeah, Noble's just going to modify into this absolutely massive pile of damage. 2 for 6, 8. Yeah, that's 16. 19 damage. Crazy. So yeah, that was a Clothbound Apprentice that rolled a big chunk of that.
Yeah, and even if the Clothbound Apprentice's rolls were not good,
Yeah,
putting those dice in play
to be modified. Yeah.
means that it's hard to say that Clothbound Apprentice was not responsible for 10 damage.
Yeah, that's true. That's certainly true.
That's a crazy thing to say.
It is a crazy thing to say. Wow. Yeah. So 8 damage here, and then it'll be two instances of 4 damage apiece. Jonathan's just trying to see how much damage he can goldfish here before Noble gets him.
And so, yeah, Jonathon does have enough damage to kill EM-Urgent. EM-Urgent dies in round 4, except Giorner dies first.
Yes, unfortunately for Giorner. All right, so Noble's going to take that. This is the winner's match. So Noble is going to progress on to the round of 16. Congratulations to Noble. And Jonathon will be able to fight it out to stick around and get into the round of 16 in the survival match.
Yep. Every round, it takes 2 losses for you to get eliminated. So yes. Jonathon's still looking good.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll find out soon who wins the rebound match to fight Jonathon to move on.
Very cool.
Yeah, we'll see you there. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, have a good night.